Welcome to this 3-minute video on understanding intellectual property for placement. Before you read, understand and accept the student consent for placement, please watch this video. It is important for you to understand what intellectual property, or IP, is and how it applies to your placement. The rules of IP on placement are different than your regular studies. IP refers to creations of the mind, which can be legally owned and therefore protected from unauthorised use by others. Some forms of IP require formal application and examination before ownership can be protected. These include inventions protected by patents or plant breeders' rights, trademarks and industrial designs. Other forms of IP are protected at the point of creation. These include scholarly and creative works protected by copyright, and proprietary information such as know-how or trade secrets protected by common law. IP created by you during the course of your university studies is owned by you, unless there is a specific agreement to the contrary, such as during a work-integrated learning placement. For most placement organisations, a precondition of accepting a student on a work-integrated learning placement is that IP in materials created by students while participating in that placement remains with the placement organisation. For this reason, the university enters into an agreement with placement organisations. Under the agreement, the university agrees to obtain assignment of the student's IP and then transfer it to the placement organisation. Under this agreement, the student will receive a broad licence to use that IP. This is required under the university's intellectual property policy. It also reduces the need for you to sign additional documents unnecessarily. The assignment of your IP to Flinders is relevant only to IP created by you while on a work-integrated learning placement. The purpose of work-integrated learning activities is to replicate employment in a workplace. The transfer of IP to the employer placement organisation aligns with standard contractual conditions of employment. Although the placement organisation has your IP transferred to it, it is required by the university to grant you a non-exclusive, non-transferable, royalty-free perpetual licence. You can use your created IP for examination or assessment by Flinders University, or in any other teaching, educational, academic or research materials prepared by you. You can't use material created in one organisation with another organisation. For example, you have produced a poster as part of your assessment. The host organisation owns the IP for the content, but you can use this content in the poster and any other assessments. In addition, the host organisation cannot take any of your assessment pieces and disseminate them as company information without your consent. If there is confidential information in your assessment pieces, then you should talk to your host placement supervisor before submitting and check that they are satisfied with the level of disclosure, particularly in circumstances where confidentiality obligations between you and the placement organisation apply. Please note that the university is unable to provide you as a student with personal legal advice about IP matters, as this constitutes a conflict of interest for the university. You're entitled to obtain independent legal advice at your own cost prior to accepting the IP arrangements described in the consent. Or you can access the free legal clinic at Flinders University. The clinic can be contacted on the email address on the screen. Now that you've watched this video, please return to InPlace to confirm your acceptance of the IP arrangements in the student consent for placement. We hope you have a great placement experience.